Hello, good afternoon, all of you. Good afternoon, students. Today I am going to continue the entropy part. Yesterday I have started entropy and spontaneity. Now I am going to complete the entropy part, and I am solving at the end of the class. I will solve the problems. Okay. Here, this diagram yesterday I have given. Once again, repeat the diagram. This is a graphical representation for exothermic and endothermic reaction. In the case of exothermic reaction, we are taking combustion reaction. Hydrogen burns in presence of oxygen to form water molecule. For that reaction, heat evolved to the surrounding is minus 285.8 kilojoules per mole. This much of heat evolved to the surrounding. Therefore, whenever heat evolved means the heat present in the reactant decreases and they form product. Amount of heat, that is amount of heat in the reactant is greater than amount of heat in the product side, because some amount of heat is evolved to the surrounding. That is why I am writing in this graph total enthalpy of reactant decreases in this process. Total enthalpy of the reactant decreases to form product. One more thing is, in this category, say a molecule in stable state containing less energy, a molecule in excited state having more energy. Therefore, the reactant loses energy and stabilizes to form product. Product is a stable molecule. Reactant on heating, it goes to excited state. Therefore, it releases the excess energy and slowly it forms to product. Like this, just a draft. This is a reactant. It is gaining energy. It is gaining energy. At one stage, it reaches the transition state, and finally, it comes back to product. In exothermic reaction, reactant energy is always greater than the. This is reaction coordinate. This is reaction coordinate. The amount of reaction coordinate here, energy, reactant in energy is always greater than the product energy. This much of energy released to the surrounding. Therefore, in this category, they attain stability. This is transition state. By observing heat and releasing heat to the surrounding, and finally it will form product. Initially, this much heat is there. After forming the product, heat will be decreased. That only drawn here. Okay. This is called exothermic reaction. Next one case is endothermic process. Next one is the melting of ice is an example of endothermic process. See, whenever in solid state, the stability is more, but heating the solid, it becomes less stable, but it will form product. Why? Because according to second law of thermodynamics, heat travels from hot body to cold body. I am taking ice from the fridge, I am putting it outside. After some time, it forms water. How it is happening? It absorbs heat from the surrounding. So the heat in the surrounding is greater than the heat of the ice. Therefore, heat travels from hotter body to colder body. So according to second law of thermodynamics, this is correct. So heat is absorbed, so that only the product heat will be greater than the reactant heat, because the reactant is ice. The temperature of ice is less than the temperature of water. How it forms product is just absorbs heat from the surrounding. Therefore, enthalpy increases. Reaction enthalpy, net heat absorbed from the surrounding. So this one important point. Net heat is absorbed from the surrounding and slowly melt into form the water. The entropy of ice is less than the entropy of water. Entropy of ice. Degree of disorderness of water. Why? Because in crystalline form, all the atoms are closely packed or orderly arranged. But in water molecules, there is some space between one molecule and other molecule, so the vibrate, they move here and there, therefore some disorderness created. That is why the entropy of ice is less than the entropy of water. This also you keep it in your mind. This will help for solving the problem. These are the very important terms based on the class. This already I have explained, so no need further explanation. Just go through your textbook. Melting of ice is an example for endothermic process. Combustion is an example of exothermic process. During exothermic process, during exothermic process, the enthalpy of reactant is more than the enthalpy of product, because some amount of heat is evolved to the surrounding. Therefore, here in this category, entropy of reactant is greater than entropy of product. Why? Because the less energy, product side less energy, stability started. So in exothermic process, the entropy of reactant is greater than the entropy of product. In this category, entropy of ice is less than the entropy of water. Reverse. Okay. Go through one time more. Hello students, yesterday I have explained the definition for entropy, and one experiment, three-dimensional cylinder filled with two type of gas, one covered by cardboard. I am removing the cardboard, the two gases diffuse with each other. In this process I am not increasing the temperature or decreasing the temperature. The temperature is normal only, so temperature not favors anything here. Only the mixing of gases leads to entropy. Which gas present in which corner, that we don't know, because all the gases are diffused with each other. So that is a very good example of entropy. I have explained in the last class. Just recollecting the terms. Entropy means degree of disorderness or randomness or chiasma. Change in entropy means delta S equal to entropy of final state minus entropy of initial state, which will give a positive value, means the entropy is spontaneous. Change in entropy is spontaneous. This I have explained in the last class. And now I am going to continue in the last class. And how the entropy obeys second law and spontaneity and all I have explained. Now I am going to continue the second part. Change in entropy is directly proportional to amount of heat given. See, I already explained that if I increase the amount of heat given to the system, means the gas absorbs more heat and it favors more kinetic energy. It moves here and there, collide each other, entropy automatically increases. That I have explained. So that entropy is dependent on heat, amount of heat given. And one more thing, provide heat to a substance at low temperature, entropy increases. Example, I am giving heat to ice, it becomes water, entropy increases. Again I am giving heat to water, it becomes water vapor, entropy increases. Now I am going to give heat to water vapor, entropy does not increases. Therefore at low temperature, giving heat leads to entropy. At high temperature, provide the heat to a substance at high temperature, entropy does not increase so much. I am going to heat melted iron, there is no change, already entropy increases. Therefore entropy is inversely proportional to temperature. At low temperature, giving heat, entropy is maximum. At high temperature, giving heat, entropy is not maximum. Therefore entropy is inversely proportional to temperature and entropy is directly proportional to heat given. heat given, amount of heat given. Q reversible means amount of heat given. This already we learned in the previous classes. Therefore, I am combining these two equations, I get this equation. Delta S is equal to Q reverse by T. Okay. So, next one is delta S total is equal to total entropy means the entropy of the system plus entropy of the surrounding. For exothermic reaction, the system loses energy and the surrounding gains energy. Therefore, shall I rub this one? Just I have explained, change in entropy is directly proportional to the amount of heat given. Please note it down. Provided the heat to a substance at low temperature, entropy increases, melting of ice. Provide a heat to the substance at high temperature, steam or water vapor, again I am heating, no change. Therefore, entropy does not increase so much. So, at low temperature, high entropy. High temperature, low entropy. Therefore, delta is directly proportional, inversely proportional to temperature and directly proportional to amount of heat given. I am giving heat to low temperature, entropy increases. Therefore, how much heat given, that much entropy increases. Therefore, delta is directly proportional to Q reversible. On combining these two equations, I will get this equation. Okay. This already we have discussed. I will rub this one. Now I am going to start. Delta S total is equal to delta S system plus surrounding. Change in entropy of the total is equal to change in enthalpy of system plus surrounding. For an exothermic process, delta S total is equal to delta S system plus delta S surrounding. Okay, which is on combining all these things which is greater than 0, then the process is spontaneous. Like I will tell you, delta S system means delta S system loss energy, loss heat. So it is negative sign. I am just for observation I am telling. Delta S surrounding already in room temperature. I am heating water in. We are going to the cooking room, heating some water or cooking. What happened? The surrounding feel heat because the heat from the system travel to surrounding. Therefore, surrounding gains heat. So positive sign. Already surrounding have already some heat is there. Again I am giving heat from system to surrounding. System loses heat and surrounding gains heat. Therefore the positive sign greater than negative sign, then delta S total is equal to greater than 0. Okay, so it for exothermic process, I am telling exothermic process. So in this category, the entropy of the total universe will be increased. The total increases because system gives heat to the surrounding. Therefore, the entropy of the surrounding increases, and the entropy of the surrounding value minus system value giving some positive value. Then yes, delta S is positive. The greater than 0. Therefore, it is spontaneous. The reaction taking by itself without the help of the external agency is called spontaneous. A reaction taking place by itself without the help of the external agency. Example: spontaneity, growing of plants, growing of human beings, are spontaneous process. Growing of hair, it is a spontaneous process. It never reverses. It is a irreversible spontaneous process, right? So you have to keep it in mind. Delta S is positive means spontaneous process. Heat supplies to the surrounding. So surrounding heat is greater than the system heat. So we get a positive value that will lead to spontaneity. Okay. These are the terms given in the textbook only. I am explaining. Next one. Suppose delta S total is equal to delta S system plus delta S surrounding at equilibrium condition. At equilibrium condition. Next point is I am just explaining delta S total is equal to delta S system plus delta S surrounding at equilibrium condition. What happened? Shall I have this one? Go through one time. For an exothermic process, delta S total is equal to delta S system plus surrounding, which is greater than 0. How it is greater than 0? Because system loses energy, so I put negative sign. Surrounding gains energy, so I put positive sign. If the positive sign is greater than negative sign, then delta S system is greater than 0. Right? Okay. Next point, at equilibrium condition, delta S system is equal to delta S surrounding. So system energy and surrounding energy are equilibrium. In an isolated system, let us see, in an isolated system, heat will not given to the surrounding, and the surrounding also not supplies heat to the system. There is no exchange of energy taking place. Therefore, in that category, delta S system is equal to delta S surrounding. So in this category, delta S total is equal to 0. At equilibrium, it's a very important condition. These are all the conditions that the reaction spontaneous or non-spontaneous. So delta S is 0 means equilibrium. Delta S is positive means spontaneous. If delta S is negative, what happens? If in the case of endothermic reaction, endothermic process, some endothermic process, not all the endothermic process, some endothermic process. I already explained that melting of ice, carbon disulfide formation, liquid sodium chloride dissolved in water, all are endothermic process. That I have explained that they obeys the second law of thermodynamics. Therefore, they undergo spontaneous process. But some other endothermic processes are there. They are not obeying the second law of thermodynamics. In such cases, delta S total is equal to delta S system plus delta S surrounding is less than 0. In this category, the energy delta S system gains energy. In this category, delta S system gains energy because endothermic process systems gain energy from the surrounding. Therefore, delta S gains energy positive. Delta system gains energy. In the surrounding, delta S surrounding loses energy because endothermic process. Endothermic process is reverse of exothermic process. Therefore, in this category, the delta S total is less than 0. Non-spontaneous process. These are called non-spontaneous process. I am telling that delta S want to absorb heat from the surrounding means which needs the external agency's help. That is why it is a non-spontaneous process. It is not happen by itself. We manually do by ourselves. Then only it will take. So it is a non-spontaneous process. Combustion is an exothermic process because hydrogen bonds in presence of oxygen to form water molecule. Carbon bonds in presence of oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Once it started means it will go. So it will not stop. It will not reverse back. So it is a spontaneous process. But non-spontaneous process are those we only do by ourselves. That is why in this category, delta S total is less than 0. 3 category, delta S positive. Delta S is positive, spontaneous. This is very, very important. Delta S is zero equilibrium. I have explained equilibrium in adiabatic cases, equilibrium. In non-spontaneous cases, delta S is negative. Non-spontaneous. Very important term. The very next page, I have the same terms are given in the very next page. Okay. I will start. So it in the textbook. Page number 179. Delta S is positive, reaction spontaneous. Delta S is negative, reaction is spontaneous at low temperature. And then if at equilibrium delta S is equal to 0. If delta S is 0 means it is equilibrium terms. So these three terms are given. Enthalpy change of reaction, change in entropy, change in Gibbs free energy. All these things, Gibbs free energy we are not taking. Next class I will take that. This is the entropy related term, page number 179 given. That only I am explaining. So shall I rub this board? Already I have explained everything. Hello students, I have explained entropy, spontaneity with examples in the last class, and now I am going to solve one problem based on entropy. First read the problem. Problem number 6.9, page number 177 in the old textbook, NCERT in-text question. Thermodynamics. Predict in which of the following entropy increase or decrease. Entropy increases how and decrease how, all those things explained in the last class. So the solving the problem is simple for you. Very simple problem. First, a liquid crystallizes into solid. Freezing. What is the name of the process? Freezing. During freezing, what happened to entropy? I am going to explain the question here. After freezing, the molecule attain ordered state and therefore entropy decreases. In water, atoms are there like this. H2O vessel. Now I am going to freeze, cool. Atoms are like this, orderly arranged. Crystallizes, orderly arranged. Ordered arrangement, ordered. Entropy decreases. Here zigzagly arranged, here there. And entropy decreases. In ice, the water molecules are arranged orderly, but in water, the intermolecular space between one atom and other atom is increased in liquid state. Therefore, there is some space between them, so they move here and there. Some disorder is created. But in solid state, the intermolecular force of attraction is strong. The atoms are closely packed and orderly arranged. Therefore, entropy is less in the case of solid when compared to liquid. Second question, temperature of a crystalline solid is raised from 0 to 150 Kelvin. See, if the temperature rises, what happens? I am telling low temperature to high temperature. This also I have explained. Delta S is equal to amount of heat. Temperature in the sense heat. Delta S is directly proportional to Q reversible. This I have explained. So amount of heat increases. Entropy also increases, so that at 0 Kelvin the constituent particles are static and the entropy is minimum. If the temperature rises to 150 Kelvin, they begins to move and oscillate. The atoms gain kinetic energy, therefore they begins to move here and there. They vibrate about their equilibrium position in the crystal lattice. Therefore, system become more disorder, system become more disorder, entropy increases. So what I am trying to tell, I am giving heat to the system, the particles in the system gains heat, so they start vibrate in their equilibrium position and the lattice will be disturbed, that leads to entropy. Okay, I hope you understand this concept, because I have explained a change in entropy is directly proportional to amount of heat given. Amount of heat given. Okay. Hello students, now I am going to explain the third question. 2 moles of sodium bicarbonate baking soda. Sodium bicarbonate reactive heat gives sodium carbonate plus carbon dioxide plus water molecule. So in this category, solid, carbon dioxide, water, and this question I am going to explain now. Okay. Sodium bicarbonate decomposes to give sodium carbonate, carbon dioxide and water molecule. Reactant sodium bicarbonate is a solid and it has low entropy. Solids always have low entropy because in solid the intermolecular force of attraction strong, atoms are orderly arranged. Among product there are one solid and two gases. In gases the intermolecular forces are very weak, so they move here and there. Freedom to movement is very high. Freedom of movement in atoms in gases is very high. So reactant sodium bicarbonate is a solid and it has low entropy. Among product there are one solid and two gases. Therefore the product represents condition of high entropy. Therefore the product represents a high condition of high entropy. When compared to this part and this part, this is a solid part. So the orderness more. If a particle is orderly arranged, then the entropy is less, because entropy means degree of disorderness. In this category, sodium carbonate alone solid, the remaining two things are gases. In gases, the interparticle gap between one molecule and other molecule is high, so they can move here and there, zigzagly move here and there and collide with each other. That leads to disorderness. Therefore, entropy increases here. Next question. Hydrogen molecule decomposed to hydrogen atom, bond dissociation enthalpy. In this process, hydrogen molecule break down into two hydrogen atoms. This is a gas, this is also a gas. Here one molecule gives two atoms, that is number of particles increases. Very important term. Number of particles increases leading to more disordered state. Only one molecule present in a particular volume, I break down into two molecules, the number of particle increases, the chance of entropy is now started because they themselves collide. Therefore, here one molecule gives two atoms, number of particle increases leading to more disordered state. 2 moles of hydrogen atoms have higher entropy than 1 mole of hydrogen gas. 2 moles of hydrogen atom, 2 moles of hydrogen atom has more entropy than the dihydrogen molecule. So the fourth question tells about if the number of particle increases means entropy increases. That is also important point. You have to keep it in your mind. So this is a very important problem. Very simple. First problem, freezing crystallization, entropy decreases. Second problem, temperature increases, heat increases, amount of heat given to the system increases, entropy increases. Third problem, in the product side, one is a solid, other two is a gas. This is a gas. So if gaseous state has more entropy than the liquid state, here gaseous state has more entropy than liquid than solid. Entropy order. Entropy order. Next one is number of particles I have explained.